I'm David Sutter here at WyoPreps.com, and it's time for our Athlete of the Week honors this week, presented by Premier Bone and Joint Centers. We're worthy of Wyoming, and we're celebrating a lot of great success at the State Wrestling Championships this past weekend. We've had some great success on the boys' side, but our girls' winner this week is a very exclusive company, the first ever three-time state champion in Wyoming High School girls wrestling history, and that is Becca Oetken from Sheridan High School, who won the title of 190 pounds. She joins me right now. Congrats on winning a state title. Let's
Thank you.
start with the first three-time state champ. What does that mean to you, and what kind of goes through your mind when you hear that?
Um, I think it's a super awesome accomplishment for me, and just for the growth of the sport in Wyoming. I'm super grateful. I'm just really grateful. I couldn't be here without the support from my family and my coaches and my teammates and the community, and it's just really awesome.
Take me back to the state championships last weekend. You ended up pinning your first three opponents and then had a 5-1 decision in the finals match. From your perspective, how do you feel you wrestled last weekend at state?
I think I did really well last weekend at state. I think my last match, I definitely could have been more confident in taking my shots. But I just had a little bit of a different strategy going into that match. So,
Speaking of that one, that was the one I would kind of imagine maybe a little redemption on your mind. That was your only loss on the season was to that girl. Did you kind of have a little payback in your mind going into the finals?
a little bit, yeah. But I also knew that previously in the season, one of my goals was to just practice takedowns and taking shots because that's what's going to prepare me best for the next level, which is wrestling in college. And it's a different style, it's freestyle. And I just wanted to get more practice taking shots and getting takedowns to prepare me for that. So,
Okay. I got to ask you, during the season at all, did you feel any pressure to go out and three-peat and especially become the first one in this state's history to do that on the girls' side?
um, I think the only pressure on me was pressure that I was putting on myself. But yeah.
Okay. What was kind of your focus? You mentioned the takedowns. Anything else that you focused on at the state championships that you felt maybe was a key to putting you over the top?
Um, well, through the beginning of the season, it was takedowns, and then later at regionals and state was just takedown and pin. So that was a little bit of the difference kind of going into state. But yeah.
Okay. For you, what has it meant to kind of see the growth of this sport? Someone who came in and made a big splash back in your sophomore year a couple years ago. What has it meant to you to see the growth of this sport in the state?
I think it really means a lot to me, and it's something like growing women's sports is something I've always been passionate about. It's kind of with softball too. I play softball, and my high school hasn't had a fast pitch softball team until this year, and I'm really excited to get to be part of that. And so I just think it's just really amazing to see how women's sports is just growing and improving so much, and it's hopefully only the beginning, and it's going to keep getting better. So.
All right. Well, to you, where did your kind of love and passion of wrestling come from?
Um, I just think I've always been a super competitive person, so I think I love it because I love competing and I love pushing myself and challenging myself and doing hard things, and so I think that's just something I've always really enjoyed. And once I started wrestling, I just fell in love with it. So,
Was
yeah.
there anything in terms of kind of maybe that passion and maybe the pride at the same time of representing Sheridan High School, who's had a lot of success in the state here lately?
Um, yeah, it's definitely like I'm definitely really proud to represent my high school, and I'm very grateful to go to the high school that I do go to and live in the town that I live in and have the support from the people around me. So,
Yeah. What is it meant to have your coaches around you, especially there at Sheridan, whether it's Coach Shadow or Coach Marcy, who's actually specifically the girls wrestling coach there at Sheridan High School?
I'm really grateful for them. I couldn't ask for any better coaches, and if it weren't for Coach Shadow, I wouldn't be wrestling. He he was my weights coach my sophomore year of high school, and so he was the one who was like, "You should come out for wrestling," and I did it, and then it's just been really awesome the time and the dedication that they put into helping our team, and like they they love us and they want to see us improve, and so it's just really awesome to see their passion for it too.
Well, Becca, congrats on the state championship.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for taking a few minutes and congrats on being our athlete of the week.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
I'm David Sutter from WyoPreps.com. Time for our Athlete of the Week honors on the boys' side. We're spotlighting the four-time state champs this week, and good to catch up with this young man, Roany Proffit from Kemmer High School. Uh, One of 32 wrestlers now in state history as a four-time state champion. He took the title in Class 2A at 138 pounds this past weekend up in Casper. And Roany, thanks for taking a few minutes to chat with me. How does it feel? How does it sound when I say four-time state champion to you? You've had a little bit of time to have it sink in a little bit, maybe. I guess, what's your reaction
Yeah.
when you hear that?
Oh, it sounds great to me. I'm happy I can be one of those guys, you know. I watched my brother win four of them, and I always wanted to be one of those guys. That was one of my goals when I was little, is to do just match him at least in that area.
Well, you did just that. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but take me back to the state championships. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days spread out a little bit. Was that good, bad, or indifferent to you that it was spread out maybe a little more than it has been in the past?
Being spread out wasn't really bad. It just there's a lot of sitting around for me. I didn't like to sit around. I got to watch a lot more wrestling and cheer for my teammates a lot more that way. And I kind of got the idea of just sitting around and being able to take it all in, you know.
Gotcha. Especially as a senior. For you, you did have a forfeit win in the first round, but after that, take me through your matches you wrestled. Win by pin, and then a tech fall. Take me through each round as you got to the quarters, the semis, and the championship, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, every round I had to treat it like it was the same match because I had to go out, try to keep myself from doing something stupid. You know, I've seen a lot of upsets in the past, and I couldn't. I don't know what I'd do if I was one of those guys that got upset. So just wanted to keep my head straight, wrestle every match like it's the same, and just attack every kid I could. Just build more points on.
Speaking of that, was it a same game plan with each wrestler, or did you know these guys and know kind of what type of plan they might attack you with, where you could kind of counter that? I guess.
I really didn't know a whole lot of them, but the past couple of weeks there has been a lot of kids try to headlock me. So I knew that was coming for most of my matches, and there's just I knew a lot of people were watching what I did, so I had to try to throw in different strategies and techniques in every one of my matches.
Obviously, you kind of mentioned this. You come from a family known for wrestling. You're a three-time champ, going for a fourth. How did you deal with that pressure? Maybe not so much throughout the season, but maybe especially last weekend going into it.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure. The problem was there's everybody already saying, "Oh, you're gonna win." They were already acting like I had won, and I was like, I gotta think that everybody's dangerous. Anybody could catch anybody. There's a lot of things that could happen. So I just gotta show up and pretend like it's my first state title. I gotta wrestle to win instead of wrestle to keep from losing. Was my strategy.
You mentioned it. You joined your brother in that four-time club. The only brothers in that. How cool is that for you and him? And what does that mean to you?
Oh, it was really cool. It means a lot to me and my brother. Before my finals match, he told me not to screw it up when somebody told us that we could be the first set of brothers. So that was a little nerve-wracking, but if I just went ahead at it, I knew I could win. So it's a really cool feeling.
Yeah. All right. Who wins head to head? You or your brother?
Oh, it's most of the time it's a toss up.
Okay.
It's he's it's not a lot of fun wrestling him. I have more technical sound than he is. He's a lot bigger and stronger than me, it feels like. So yeah, it depends on the day, I guess.
Yeah, I got you on that. For you, I mentioned kind of the family aspect of that in terms of wrestling. How important has that been in your life, your brother's life, just your family in general, and just what it means to wrestle?
Oh, it's been a big part of everybody's life in our household. It's not just all about wrestling, it's all about the things that you learn from it.
Okay.
Like I know I could probably accomplish whatever I put my mind to now because I've gone through all those hardships and tried and worked at stuff and failed and succeeded. I've learned the hard way what succeeding is. So I mean, it's just altogether a really good life skill for us.
Yeah. And what does it mean? for you to wrestle for Kimmer and represent the Rangers?
It's really cool thinking that my brother wrestled here and I got to kind of follow in his footsteps and do what he's done and just carry on that tradition. Wrestling here in Kemmer was a blast. Those coaches in there, it's always a great time. All those past wrestlers that come in and wrestle, it's a hoot in the wrestling room a lot of the time. But yeah, it's a lot of fun over here.
Well, hey, congrats on being a four-time champ. You're in a very elite club in this history. I mean, because I don't think people might realize 32, you're one of 32, but 32 out of the thousands of wrestlers that have come through this state over all the years. Congrats to you. Thank you for taking a few minutes, and congrats on being one of our athletes of the week, Roany.
Thank you.